Okay, I'm going to get started. My name is Lawrence Eichen. For those of you who don't know me or haven't attended one of our Tech Time calls previously, this is the first one of the new year. So I'll say Happy New Year to everyone if I haven't said it to you in any other Zoom call meeting yet. And I'm very excited to have with me Carl Cangelosi, my partner in crime in this Tech Time. That actually rhymes. So we have several items that we're going to go through today. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out talking about some free software. And what I'm going to do is turn it over to Carl now. He's going to do a little segment on free software. And then we'll just continue as we see fit. If you have questions, feel free to send them in the chat room. And either I or Carl will get to those as soon as we can. We'll try to answer everybody's questions. So without any further ado, Carl, take it away.
Okay, so welcome to another one of our Tech Times. So I'm going to divide today's discussion on free software into two parts. One is for tablets, smartphones, and the other is for PCs. And generally, there are a couple of issues with respect to free software. One is, can you find one that really works and you like? And the second one is safety. So I want to start with smartphones and tablets. And you really don't have to worry about safety if you're getting your software through either any of the company stores. So whether it's Apple, Android, or Microsoft, they make sure that whatever goes through their store is safe. So don't worry about that. What you next part is whether you like it. And that's probably more a matter of just looking at the ratings that you'll find in the App Store and trying one out. You might like it, you might not. It's free. What's the difference? You uninstall it. So that's not a terribly big issue. I guess you can search around for what's the best widget to do this or best widget to do that. I just look at the ratings and I install one, see if I like it, and I don't. So let me go over a few of them that I really like. And Lawrence and I were talking about this one before, and Lawrence didn't like it. I do like it. It's called Grammarly, Grammarly. It's an app, but you can also get it for your PC. And it works on your email, and it'll also work on Word as well. It doesn't work on my Word because my Word version is so old, it just won't work. But it is really very good. So what it does is it suggests spelling, grammar, and it corrects or notifies you about other mistakes. So let me show you what this would look like. So let's say I pull up my Gmail and I want to write a message. I got to move some things around on my screen. And what I want to type in is, I can't wait for Monday's game. Joan and Bob is going to be there too, period. Now, you see the red lines under words. So I capitalize. Monday, oh, can't, see, can't. Mondays, Joan are two. Now, for someone like me who is not good at catching errors, I'm terrible at it. I have always been terrible about it because my mind's racing ahead and not focusing actually on the words. I think it really works very well for me. So this is one I like a lot. I use it all the time. My only problem is that I can't use it in Word because my version of Word is 2003. So that doesn't work so well. So did I stop sharing? Okay, so that's the first one I think is really, really good. Another one I've mentioned in the past for photo editing is Snapseed, Snapseed. Excellent. Very powerful, very easy to use, and works really, really well. Third one is called Image Resizer. If you travel somewhere or do anything where you're taking a lot of photos with your smartphone or your tablet, you know that very quickly you won't be able to send them by email because the file sizes are just too large. This app lets you resize your photos without really losing very much quality. It's not noticeable if you're viewing it on your smartphone or your tablet. So you could maybe send 10 or 15 of them at the same time because the file size is so much smaller. Here are two more that I put onto my tablet and iPhone. I don't know if you'll, okay, so let's get out of here. Okay, so here's my tablet. Okay, no, you can't see it. Hold on. Well, I'm just going to tell you about it. So the first one is called Light Control, and it's a widget. A widget is something you can get from the store. It goes on your home screen. And what you can see it, hold on. There it is, okay? So it's right up here. And what it does is you push on it and it comes up with this screen that lets you select the brightness you want. So if you're going outside and you want it bright, you're inside, you want it low, at bedtime even lower, you just push on whatever you want and it does it and disappears. Works really, really well. You can drop down your screen. You can use a slider bar. This is really a lot easier than doing that. And I'll give you the exact name in a moment. The other one is, if you can see over here, it's called Optimize. And on your tablet and smartphone, you should go into the management function, which you can do through going through here, and then go down to device care. You can see it there. It's device care. And what that does is it empties your memory. It does a number of things to keep your smartphone and your tablet operating at peak efficiency. You can do that by going into your settings, going to this, clicking that. This just does it all at once. It's a Samsung feature. You just download it from the actual Play Store. And so the optimized one is called Device Care by Samsung. The light control one is called Brightness Control by Gigavitz, Gigavitts. Those are two widgets I really, well, they are widgets that I really like. Another piece of software, which may not be too relevant now, but I've used a lot in the past, is if you're a traveler, it's maps called Here. It's either Here or Here to Go. And what it allows you to do is download maps for, I can't tell, a lot of countries, pretty much all of them except Japan. And you can use these maps offline, so you can actually navigate by these maps that you have downloaded to your smartphone without having a connection. really good, really great. There's a companion one, not by the same company, called Cities to Go, I think, and they cover Japan. And if you ever go to Japan, believe me, it's very difficult getting around because the signs aren't in English. So having something like that is great. If you're going to travel in the United States in an area that doesn't have cell coverage, if there are such places anymore, it would be great. You can go and download that map. You can also probably download it from Google as well. But Google doesn't do as many places overseas, certainly not whole countries. Last one is a program called VLC, and it's a media player, but it also does more things. And the reason I recommend it highly is because it will open videos that you get that you can't open with other programs. So for example, I have a DVD of a John Haynes video. It's actually 3 different mediators, and used it in the 40-hour course a lot. Rather than taking the disc, which now I need an external DVD player, I burned it to my computer, and it makes what's called a disk image file. Most readers won't open it. VLC will open everything. So if you ever have a problem opening any kind of video, get VLC, make it your primary one, and it's really great. So that's another recommendation. Okay. So now let's talk about free software for your laptop or desktop. Okay. So first, about what you like or what you think is going to be a good program. Search first on some of the reliable sources like Tom's Hardware, CNET, PC Magazine. Look around and make sure that this is a reputable piece of hardware, okay, or software rather. There's a lot of software out there that carries viruses. They're not good, and you really have to be concerned about them. So it's not like downloading something to your tablet or to your phone. So that's really, you have to be concerned about that you're getting something that is, first of all, good, but also not dangerous. The next thing to be concerned about is, where do you download it from? So let me share my screen again. So let's go to, okay. So let's look here. So for example, I want to, got to download, okay. I want to download VLC. And you'll see there's an official site for downloading it. You always want to go to the software company's official site, because there are other places where you can download it. For example, you can download it from CNET. Now, CNET is a reliable company. They give good reviews, but they tend to tack other things onto it when you download it. And if you're not careful, you end up with some other software being your browser or something else that you really don't want. Some of them probably aren't very good either. Like, you could download it from Portable Apps. I don't know anything about them. They might be reputable, they might not be reputable. But in any case, don't download anything except from the website of the actual software provider. So, okay. So now let's just talk a little bit about 2 software bundles that you know of and you use perhaps a lot. One is Word or Office. Microsoft Office, you have to pay for it, you buy it once, and there are lots of alternatives to Word. You can use Google Docs, you can use a variety of things. My opinion is it's worth the money. Just buy it, and don't forget that once you buy it, it's yours. If you get a new computer, you can move it to your new computer. And also remember, you don't need to update it every year. I'm still working on 2003 version of Office. Now, it doesn't work on some ways very well, but I get by with it almost every day. And so it's still working for me. If I were not retired, I probably would replace it. But, in my opinion, trying these other things to save the amount of money that Office takes is not worthwhile. On the other hand, let's talk about Adobe Acrobat. There are lots of free readers that let you read anything in a PDF format. And there are lots of other services that let you do a variety of things. Let me share my screen again. And so, for example, you want something that can edit a PDF. That one works sort of well. You want something that will combine PDFs. Say you have 3 or 4 PDFs, you want to combine it into one document, you can find that. You want something that can split PDFs. You have one huge PDF and you want to split it into pieces, you can buy this as free. You want something that can number pages. Let's say you've put together a document that's like 15 separate PDFs, you've combined them, but you have no page numbers at the bottom. This will insert page numbers. You can do all of those things and it'll work. But if you're doing this on a daily basis, like I've started doing because of these webinars where I have to do forms, etc., it becomes very tedious. So if you're doing them now and then, do the free version. If you're going to do it a lot, I really recommend buying Adobe Acrobat. It's either subscription basis, which is like $15 a month, $180 a year, or you can buy it with a perpetual license for $450. Now, up to you whether you use it a lot, don't use it a lot. Up until I was doing all these forms, what I was doing was perfectly adequate, but it's not nearly as good in any component as Adobe Acrobat. So those are my my assessment of free software. Over to you.
Okay, Carl, thank you very much. I'm going to add two other sites that that I use for free things that you might find helpful. One is called Wetransfer.com, which transfers large files. Now you can transfer a large file using Google because Google automatically these days, if it's over, I think 25 megabytes, which is your typical limit for emails, will tell you, hey, this is too big, and it creates a link automatically, and you can just send it out, and whoever receives it can click on that link. So you can use Google for a lot of things, but I use WeTransfer for large audio files or large video files that I send out. And what's nice about WeTransfer.com, and it's just like it sounds, WeTransfer.com, is that when somebody downloads the video, or the file, I should say, I get a message. First, I get a message that it's been successfully sent. Then when whoever I'm sending it to downloads it, I get a message that they've downloaded the file. And it just seems to always work. I've never had a problem with it. It seems to be, it's been around for a while. Somebody told me about it years ago. So I throw that out there. That's just another alternative to transfer large files. You probably need something like that, or the Google way when you get into sending large video files or audio files. when I do some podcasting and I record it, it becomes really big. So I use that. Another free, this isn't free software, but it's just these aren't free software that you're going to download. These are just sites that have free services. Another one that's kind of nifty is called offliberty.com. Offliberty.com. And what this site lets you do, and I'm not vouching for the site, so I don't know what they do, okay? And you probably have to sign, I think there's a user agreement, but it does let you go to YouTube and then you put in the link of a video. Let's say you found a video on YouTube that you like. You go there, you put in that link, and then it strips it somehow and lets you download the video right to your computer. So if you want to re-watch that video over and over, you don't have to go onto YouTube or anything like that. You don't have to go on the internet. You've got it right on your computer. Now, I don't remember how I found out about it, but I'll tell you what I used it for. Or maybe Jody Davis is waving to me, so maybe Jody told me this. The reason I used it was, honestly, I was taking yoga online, and I was looking for YouTube videos of yoga. And then next thing you know, it's like, you know what? I found a few that I really liked, downloaded those videos, and then I just have it right on my laptop and never have to go back online or worry about an internet connection. So it's kind of a neat little site, and it seems to work. There may be other things you can use that website for, but that's what I've used it for. So I throw that out since we're on the subject of free things.
What's the
I'm
name?
going to talk about now.
What's the name again?
The website is offliberty.com,
Off-
like Statue of Liberty, offliberty.com. Okay, so I'm going to talk about getting documents from clients or whoever. Now that we're in this virtual setup, I'm sure everybody's been doing this. I'm going to review some things, and then I kind of like put together just kind of 5 things. There's 5 ways that I kind of always get documents. The one is the old school, right, where your client has an all-in-one printer, they scan it and they email it to you, right? So that's old school. I personally like that method a lot, because if I can get the client to do that, then I've got it on an email. It's just very simple if they can do that. Some clients can't do that. They have to fax it, right? Now, if the old school way with faxing, for me, I don't have it come to my fax machine anymore. I use myfax.com. This is a service that's out there. I think I pay $9.99 a month. I've been using it for a long time. It's probably not even the latest and greatest, but it works, and it's worked flawlessly for me. So now anytime anybody faxes me to my regular fax number, I get that as an email, as a PDF. And I like that because even if I'm outside the office, it comes to my phone now, I can look at it as a PDF. I can tell the client I got their fax. For me, many times clients fax things and then still want to know if I got the fax. So it's like, I've got it, I can send them a quick email. So that's a site that works. There's a lot of these, and I'm going to share my screen and just show you. I just in preparation for this, let me see, did I share this? Yeah, okay, hold on a second. Yeah, so let me share this. In preparation, I went and looked, and here's like a review for 2020. There's all these different programs out there, or websites rather, that you can go to for this type of a service. And you can see on the price per month, there's a Fax Plus, which is $5.99. I'm actually thinking maybe I should look into that, since that's a little cheaper. They all come with a different price. Some of them are free, this Fax Zero, but there's limitations on them, right? So, you sort of get what you pay for. Some of them are expensive, I think relatively expensive, $22.99, but that's, 1,500 pages they're going to give you. That's Ring Central. Hello Fax is $9.99, 300 pages sent to receive. So I can send this link out. It was really PC Magazine did a little analysis of best fax sites to use. So I'm only just bringing this up to your attention because you can easily go and check these things out and figure out which one works best for you, depending on the volume of faxing that you want to do. So those are 2 classic things. Then, of course, we have the capability of having clients text us things, right? Everybody likes to text. I get a lot of clients that will text me images. I personally don't like that. And I usually tell the client, please try to email me, scan me email. I do not like text images. They never seem to print out as nicely. And then there's always potential size problems. That doesn't seem to work. If that's the only way I can get a document from a client, okay, they can take a picture and text it to me. But as I'm going to get to in just a second, there's other ways that I think the client can easily get things to me rather than just take a picture of it. If they have a more recent iPhone or Android, and I believe it's like an operation iOS like 13, don't hold me to that, but many of the more recent versions of iPhones and Androids do have a capability right into the phone in their notes application to scan documents, which is much better, more robust than just taking a picture and just sending the picture texting. Now, if you go into your iPhone and rather than me do a video of it, what I did is I found a video on YouTube, which we'll send a link out. And this video is, I think it's less than 5 minutes, but it's so good, very easy to follow. And it'll show you exactly what to do for the iPhone. And I have a video for the Android also. So we'll send out a link with these, but I'm just bringing it to your attention now while we're doing this call. You can use your notes application and just really get a nice scan. You can also, with the notes application, which is really nice, you can have your clients sign it right on the phone too. So if they can, sign their signature right there, and that their signature can be saved. So if they're signing multiple documents, they don't have to use their finger and sign it all the time. They just do it one time, and the phone remembers that signature, and they can just put it in very nicely. It's a nice way of getting documents just with a client with a phone. And a lot of clients, maybe not a lot, but I've definitely come into many clients over the years that just do not have the technology, computers. They're not savvy. They're older. If they have a phone in their hands these days, they can do things pretty easy just to get you documents and get the documents. The key is getting those documents nice so you can read them and work with them. So the phone is great for that, and I'll send out the link so you can see that. Another way to get documents that you may already know of, but if you don't, it bears repeating, is using file sharing services like Dropbox or Google Drive or FileZilla. Those are three big ones that you may already have heard of, but that's a very nice way to be able to email a client a link that has, like for instance, for a Dropbox, which is what I use, I can make a folder, a file folder with the client's name. And so it's not, joined with any other clients. They're not going to feel anything like it's not confidential. I'll email them that folder and invite them to just drag their folder. They can just copy and paste right into that folder, or drag and drop right into that folder. And now I have their documents very simply in there. So that's just another simple way of file sharing that is convenient, and it just makes for a very easy way to get documents transferred from remote things. So it's basically faxing, emailing, texting, using the iPhone as a scanner or the Android as a scanner, and these other methods that I mentioned. And of course, if there's I don't know if it's going to be like a long video or something like that, then of course you can use the Wetransfer, or the Google email will do that as well. But that should be, from my vantage point, with all those potential options now that exist, there should really be no excuse not to be able to get documents from clients. And if you don't know how to use those particular methods that I've already talked about, especially some of the newer ones, which I like with the iPhone scanning and the notes application, I really highly recommend getting familiar with that one, because the video that I'm going to send out is very simple. It's less than 5 minutes. And knowing these just makes it so much easier to just tell somebody and calm them down. Don't worry about it. We can do, in fact, if you're trying to, sell somebody on doing virtual mediation, it's a nice selling point to be able to say to somebody, and don't worry about documents. You don't have to leave your house. I'll be able to get everything from you. I'll show you how to do it. I'll walk you through it. That's kind of the way that you want to be able to tell the client, hey, don't worry about it. I'll walk you through everything or tell the parties, right, if you're mediating, and this will go real smooth and seamless. So I would highly recommend getting familiar with using them and practicing that, so that when you do have to do it, it's really a no-brainer. And you should know at least 2 or 3 of those. You should know how to use Dropbox to send it, or Google Drive, or FileZilla, excuse me. You should know how to use that real simply. So, because the client or the parties might be familiar with just that, and that's going to make it easier for them. And if you're familiar with it, it's going to be that much easier as well. Now, the next thing I wanted to get into was signing documents. And I've already mentioned that if you're using like the iPhone and you're doing the scanning option with the iPhone, you can just have them sign it real simple. But in addition to that, there's several other things that you can use that are out there. And there's a ton of these out there. Probably the most popular ones you may have heard of already is like Docusign and Adobe eSign, right? Those are 2 of the more popular ones. But they charge a fee for that if you're going to use that. And so it's going to be one of those situations where you're going to have to go to the website and see, what your usage is going to be like. How much is this worth it to you to try to pay that monthly fee? Because the fees range from like $9.99 a month to, $25 a month. And of course, there's limitations. So for instance, with Docusign, I was just checking in preparation for this call, it's $9.99 a month paid annually. So if you pay it annually, it's $9.99 a month. If you're paying monthly, it's going to be more than that. And then it's a limit, though, of 5 e-signatures per month. So you don't get a lot of signing with that price there. Adobe eSign starts out at $9.99 a month, but it also goes up to about $24 a month, depending on whether you're paying monthly or annually, and which package or plan, because they have a lot of different plans. So I'm not going to go through all of those now. It's not necessary, because you all have different particular needs. But there's also some other ones that I wanted to mention to you that are free. There's HelloSign, which allows you to sign, which is a free application. And there's PandaDoc, DOC, that's also free. And eSign is free. And Sign Request is free. Now, there's many, many other ones that are free too. And it's just you can get like 20 of these that exist out there. But I wanted to mention some of the more popular ones that are free, because I have not used these myself, so I can't vouch for them. But I do want to just bring them to your attention, because they are out there, they are free. And if you don't have a lot of documents that you need to be signed on a monthly basis, I would probably start out and recommend try one of the free services first, because it might be enough. Even if it's got a limitation of maybe 5 a month, if that's enough for you, then hey, you know what? Stay with the free until your needs change. But again, with any of these packages, as Carl's already mentioned, going to the website itself is definitely the way to go for downloading anything. And then just being mindful of the fact that some of them, the one things with free applications that I've found over the years is that some of them have their own branding that's incorporated with things. So you just have to be aware of that. You may not have this on some of these free signing, but I would just be looking out for that. Do I want to have HelloSign, for instance? I'm not saying they do this, but let's say does HelloSign appear like in some type of a watermark or something on the document somehow, because I'm using their free service. So next to it might be, the name of the service. So you just have to just be mindful that some of these free software or services embed their imaging or their branding unless you pay for it. And then the branding comes off and you can just do it in your own name. So that may or may not be something that you care about, just bringing it to your attention to look for that. So those are the basic signing things that I wanted to just bring to your attention. I guess my overall point is there's no excuse now not to being able to get signatures from clients, right? Because there's too many software packages out there that allow for it. Some of them, as I just mentioned, are free. And even the ones that you pay for, you can get it at a reasonable rate. At $9.99 a month, paying it annually, so you're paying $120, but that can, all you got to do is have one good case or 2 good cases, and those things pay for themselves. So it's probably worth it if you do have a lot of signing going on during the course of the year, just to do something that's a little bit more robust and feature, if you do a side-by-side comparison, which a lot of these conglomerate sites like CNET or PC Magazine, they all will rate these signing packages, just like I put up on the screen before, one for eFax, there's one for signing also. And then you can go through it. In fact, I think I had that. Let me just double check. I think I had that ready to go here today. No, all right. I don't have that at the moment, so I'm not going to spend the time trying to hunt that down. But the point is that they do have that. So just Google best document signing software, and you'll see something from PC Magazine or CNET, and then you can do your side-by-side comparison. So that's all I have on Docusign, and I will send it back to my partner, Carl, to do, I think you're going to do 17-inch laptops, Carl?
Yeah, right. We did have a few questions. One was, does Adobe Acrobat have a signing feature? Is it free? You have to pay extra for that one.
As far as, yeah, what I've seen is you've got to pay for that. You have to pay for Adobe's capability of signing. You're going to have to get something from Adobe. They have many different packages, but if you want that signing capability, you're going to be paying something.
Okay, and another one just said, I thought DocuSign has a number of documents you can send monthly without incurring a fee. Did that change?
I don't know if that was something that pre-existed. When I went and looked at DocuSign, I did not see that. If I missed it, by all means, feel free to shoot me an email and we'll amend it. We reserve the right to amend all advice.
Okay.
I think we stipulate to that. Did everybody sign that waiver, Carl, when they joined?
Right. Right. And then another one about security for MyFax.
I don't know the security. That's a great question. Whether it's, I have never had, I mean, I guess that's something I don't know the answer to. I'm going to say that I don't know the answer to that. I've had it so many years. I never worried about it. I guess I haven't, the faxing that I'm doing, I'm not really faxing out or receiving too many faxes, and anything that, I mean, the fax information I'm getting is not highly, I never have my clients send me their social security numbers or anything like that through faxing. So I'm pretty careful about what clients will send to me. Never credit card information, never anything like driver's license numbers or what did I say, social security numbers. So I'm pretty careful about making sure that they're not doing that, but I don't know cryptographically whether my fax has high level security or not. It's a good point, good question, fair point. But that's just my, I've had it so long, I've kind of never looked into that actually.
And here's one from Susan Wright. Does the image resizer allow a receiver to expand to original size? I don't think so. The way I've always used it, for example, is I'm traveling and my wife doesn't go on all the trips I go to because I go to places she considers unsafe or unclean or something. But so I might send her 10 for a day or something like that. If she really wants one, she'll email back and say, send me that one in full size. You can do that. But I do not believe once you have compressed it, you can resize it without having lost a lot of the originality of the photo. Okay, so now we're going to go on to 17-inch laptops.
Hey, Carl, 1 second. Just Jody had put a comment in there, and I think Jody's right about this with the DocuSign. I think there's a free trial basis for DocuSign. I think that when I just read Jody's chat, and thank you, Jody, because when I was just looking at it, there was a free trial. So I didn't even think to mention that. I think it was a 2-week trial, and then you got to pay $9.99 a month. So from a practical standpoint, you're going to end up paying for it. So I'm going to stand by my first answer, and thank you, Jody, for that as well.
Okay. So 17-inch laptops, and this is, I raise this in case you're in the market for buying a laptop in the near future. It's something you might consider. It's not something I would have thought about at all a couple of years ago. I wouldn't have thought about it for a couple of reasons. One is they were heavier, substantially heavier. Their size, physical size, was pretty big. And I personally was going the other direction. So I wanted something with a lot more mobility. So about 2 years ago, I bought an LG Gram 14-inch laptop. You can see it. Can you see it? Well, you can't get a sense of how big it is because it's distorted. It's 14 inches. It weighs 2.2 pounds. It is really a really very nice laptop. It's rated #1 by Consumer Reports, or at least was in the 14-inch category. I thought I'd be traveling, going to board meetings, going on trips, doing all kinds of stuff, and I wanted something really, really portable. Well, I am not going anywhere. I'm not traveling. I'm not going to board meetings. And what I am doing is spending a tremendous amount of time on Zoom. A 14-inch screen is really not very good to be running webinars or even participating in webinars. It's just not optimal. So if I were going to be buying a laptop today, I think I would buy a 17-inch. And let me tell you why. First of all, the reason I bought a new laptop 2 years ago was I had this laptop, which you can see. It's a 15.6 inch laptop. It weighs almost 5 pounds. And it's not the best to carry around. The reason I got it was because it was XP. They're going to stop support for XP. And so I needed a new laptop, got the LG. So let me compare that 15.6, which is not all that old, to the 17-inch. So let's talk about the size. That Sony is 15 inches by 10.25 inches by 1 inch. It weighs almost 5 pounds. This LG Gram, the 17-inch, is 15 inches, exactly the same. 10.3 inches, so it's 0.05 inches deep, more deep. And it's actually 0.7 inches thick as opposed to an inch for the other one. Plus, it weighs under 3 pounds. So for something with a form factor of this, you get a 17-inch with that weighs under 3 pounds. So it's portable and it's got a big screen. And if you can use a big screen for doing Zoom, etc., I think it's a real benefit. So if I were going to buy another laptop, that's the way I would go. And as I think for a reflection of my feelings, they are becoming increasingly popular because of those reasons. People aren't traveling enough, they need a bigger screen, etc. Now, the way I solved the screen problem for myself is I bought a monitor, 24-inch monitor. It's big, it probably could get by with substantially smaller, but it's a reasonable price. That's what I did. I could probably get by with a 17-inch. The prices on the Gram, which is the top rated 17-inch on Consumer Reports, ranges somewhere from $1,200 to $1,400, something in that range, depending on how much memory and how much storage. And it's all solid state. So, I mean, this is probably generally true across laptops. My old laptop, which was, a physical hard drive, a mechanical hard drive, it would take 5 to 6 minutes to boot up. It just used to drive me crazy. This LG laptop, from off to operating, is 10 seconds. 10 seconds. So you are ready to go in 10 seconds. Not that I don't have 5 minutes of my life, but it's really annoying when you can do something in 10 seconds. So I really recommend it. It's available at Costco. The prices are set by LG, but they get around that by offering different models at Costco. They put them on sale. And let me give you a plug for buying things like this at Costco. You get 90-day return. I think it's 90-day, right, Lawrence?
Yeah.
Yeah. No questions asked. You can just send the thing back. Rather than 1 year, they have 2 years. And here's a feature that you should know about and with respect to buying things other than through Costco. It says if you use the Costco credit card, it's, I believe, a Visa credit card, but branded to Costco, and you buy something with that card, it tacks on 2 years of additional warranty to whatever you bought. So if it comes with 1 year, it goes to 2 or to 3. If you bought it at 2, it goes to 4. It's a tremendous feature for some things that you are buying, appliances, for example. Recently bought a Bosch dishwasher because the other one, not reliable, puts 2 more years of warranty on it. And that's really just an additional benefit. It used to be that a lot of free cards, cashback cards, would have that feature, and they're most all eliminated it now. So a great feature if you're buying things and are concerned about them not being, failing and you not having any warranty. And the opposite side of that is never buy a warranty from, a Best Buy or et cetera. Those are huge money makers, and usually they don't pay off. So anyway, that's my little spiel about the LG. Jan, if you're there and you unmute yourself, I understood you bought one, right? Well, maybe not there. Photo's up, but not there. The old photo up, but not there, Trek.
She's on her laptop. She's using it.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Did you get?
I did. Thank you so much. I got it from Costco, just like you recommended. It's shocking. My old laptop was taking like 10 minutes to fire up. So now I'm like, can't even believe what I'm seeing. It's awesome. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you had a 17-inch before.
I did, and I was contemplating going to the 14 because I was in the market to purchase a new laptop, and then I got your email about this, and then I called you, and you very nicely called me back, and we talked about it, and you convinced me to stay with the 17, which I did.
Yeah, and the weight is pretty good, right?
Oh my God, it's so much lighter than my old one. It's like half the weight.
Right, and one of the nice things is if you're in a 15.6 inch like I was, I can use the same laptop case that I had for my 15-inch. The 17-inch would fit in it as well. So, you don't have to go out and buy new stuff. Anyway, so that's it on 17-inch. Okay, so I have a couple more items I just want to mention quickly. One is if any of you have Xfinity, Comcast, cable service, internet service, Xfinity offers a mobile service as well for those, if you already have one of the Xfinity Comcast services. I've had it for about 2.5 years. It actually uses Verizon's structure, the infrastructure. So if you're placing a call through Xfinity, you're really using Verizon. But it is amazingly inexpensive. So if you are a low data user, other than on Wi-Fi, so if you're just out in your car and you're using data, but you don't use all that much of it, then you can get an amazing deal. So when I took this 2 years ago, I went from AT&T wireless, and we were paying $95 a month for, I forget, about 5 gigabytes a person. But we never used anything like 5 gigabytes a person. And we certainly don't use it now because we're not going anywhere. We're always at home on Wi-Fi. But it's $12 a month, $15 with taxes. So for $15 a month, my wife and I each get a line, a number, and we can use 1 gigabyte of data per month. If you need another gigabyte, it's another $12. Now I think it's up to $15. So if you're a light user, it's really amazingly good and inexpensive. So that's a real bargain. Now, if you're a heavy user, it's not sure, you'd have to look at the pricing, probably not a lot different. And it will not they won't let you bring over any phone. Probably any phone which is within 2 years old will work. But there are some restrictions because supposedly it makes calls over Wi-Fi where Wi-Fi is available. You know, Xfinity advertises they have thousands or tens of thousands or whatever of Wi-Fi hotspots. I've never found that it ever switched to Wi-Fi. If it did, I certainly had no idea about it. It's just plain old cell service that works. So it's really a bargain if you can fit it into your limitation on how much data you use. Okay. The other is a new thing that Samsung is pushing. If you've got a Samsung phone, Samsung tablet, they're really pushing this. And it's called it's offline finding for tablets and smartphones. So you may know that if you lose your smartphone, you lose your tablet, there is a way to use another smartphone device to find it. Well, this goes a step farther than that. And what it is even if your phone has run out of battery power, I mean, it's sort of dead. But don't forget, when a phone goes dead, it's not at zero battery. It's usually at something like 5% or something, where it's cut off because it can't operate really at that level. But it can operate some things like Bluetooth. And the concept behind it is if you get enough people to sign up for it, to allow your device to be looking for it, then it's sort of like crowdsourcing or like Waze. Everyone's sort of participating in finding traffic and et cetera. And then these phones, other phones that are out where yours might be, will locate it and then notify you. So it's a really neat feature if enough people sign up for it, because losing a phone is not a fun thing to do. They're expensive and it's a pain in the neck to get a new one and to redo it all. So it's a neat feature, but they need people to sign up. I don't know what the security concerns are. I don't know. I can tell you how much I don't know because I just got something from Google about a month ago, few weeks ago, and it told me every place I went last year, which weren't many places, how many miles I drove, and a few other statistics. So obviously, I've allowed Google to be tracing me everywhere I go. One more thing, do I care if they find my lost phone? I really want them to do that. So.
Okay, oh, sorry, Carl, were you done with that section?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to jump into the last thing if you were done with your.
Yes.
Okay. So just the last thing I have just to tell you about is sort of a little bit, this comes under the heading of miscellaneous, outdoor wireless security camera that I happened to get from a company called Felimi. And I'm going to share this screen with you. This is it. And the reason I like this, I'm just talking about it, is because I had very limited purposes for the use for this, but this was $36.99 on Amazon. I bought it about 3 weeks ago. And it's a very good camera for the purposes. If you're looking for an outdoor camera, wireless right into your Wi-Fi, you do have to plug it in. It's not battery operated, so it's not like, you don't need a plug, but I'm using it on my deck where there's an outdoor outlet. It's waterproof. It's got night vision, motion detection, two-way audio. And there's a lot of memory there. There's a SD card slot, so you can really store a lot on there if necessary. And you can also go storage into the cloud with it, compatible with Android and iOS. And I use it really for the limited purpose of just keeping my eye on a stray cat that I have been trying to feed, and I've been feeding for a couple of months. And now I know when this cat basically shows up, because I get alerts from the thing, and you can see there's a stray cat right there, and that's what the view is for the camera. So it works for the purposes that I need, which are really limited. You can't rotate the camera from your phone. It comes with an app which would allow you to rotate the camera yourself. So it's a fixed position, but it does have a pretty good view, wide view for it. And it works flawlessly in the rain. I mean, when I got it, it poured rain coincidentally like 2 days later. It installs very easy with 4 screws, right? That they give you everything that you need comes in the package. Very simple to install, very clear picture. And the app that it runs on is, on my phone. You can also put it on your computer or laptop. I have found, in full disclosure, the apps on the computer, the desktop doesn't run as smoothly as the app on the phone. It really seems to work very well, flawlessly on my phone. I don't have any problems ever with the app not showing up or the video stream not being right and all that for the phone part of it. So I'm recommending this camera just because the price. I thought for an outdoor camera that's weatherproof, that does what it's supposed to do, for $36.99, to me it was like a no-brainer. I didn't want to spend a lot for my limited purposes of a cat showing up that I'm going to feed. So, but it might be something that you are in the market for or thinking about getting. So I wanted to just throw it out there, and I can send you that link in the email that we usually follow up if you're interested in that. There's a ton of those types of cameras out on the market. The reason that I'm recommending Felimi is because I coincidentally had 2 indoor cameras from them, and I've had to use their customer support over the years. And even though this company is actually in China, they are always very quick to respond to any email, of course, with the hour differential, but always get a response the next day, always get very helpful. They want to make sure their products work for you. So that part of a purchase is really nice, when the customer support is responsive and you feel like, you're not in on it by yourself. Most of these things, like a camera like this, usually is pretty straightforward, but there might be a moment or two where you have a glitch or something, and which has happened with me, and they were very, very quick to respond. So I like them for that reason. And as I already said, that for my limited purposes, I mean, if you're looking for a camera that maybe you didn't have to plug in, right, and it ran on batteries that were rechargeable, that might be a feature you want. This camera doesn't have that. You do need to plug it in. And if you wanted to be able to move it from your phone and adjust the viewing, this camera doesn't have that. But again, the price point is probably dictating those features. So there's something to keep in mind. So to me, it was a no-brainer for the price. So that's all I wanted to say about that.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You have an indoor cat.
Do I have an indoor cat?
Yeah.
No, I have an indoor camera.
No, I understand, but you do not have an indoor cat.
I used to. No, not now. This is just a stray cat that is an outdoor cat completely. So
why do you have an outdoor cat but not a cat for you?
Well, my cat died. And so I'm actually did not want to get myself another cat. I wasn't in the market. I had that cat. I had 2 cats for about 20 years. And so, from where I was in my life, I was like, I think I'm going to get a dog the next thing I get. And so this cat showed up, and now I have a cat that I don't have to change the litter box for. So this is actually a very nice cat. to
Did
have.
you build the shelter for it?
I built that house out there. Yes. Injured my back doing it too. That cat has got a nice warm place to stay as well. And he's eating like a king, I might add.
So if anyone has suggestions for future topics, please let us know. Okay. I have one that I was thinking about, but I'm not sure if it's a tech time thing, but it's sort of related. And if anyone's interested, it's on home generators, either for your whole house or portable generators or inverter generators. I don't know if people are interested in that kind of thing. If you are, let me know. And I can do a segment on that since I have recently gone through the process of doing that.
We're going to start expanding, like we're going to review refrigerators and microwaves soon. This is really going to be a very expansive.
Well, no, but you see, it makes sense because you can run your electronics if you have a generator and you don't have power.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And the other thing I would just throw out there for anybody is really also what we always look for is like, how do I do this? Sometimes you just want to do something and you're like, I don't know how to do this. So how can I do this? So if you have any ideas about like, I wish I knew how to do this, or if there's a software that would do that, send those questions or suggestions in, because those are really good for a call like this, because sometimes you just get caught up and you don't do things because you don't know how to do it, but it's something really simple. And so we can maybe find solutions, or maybe there's stuff that we already know that we can just inject into the next call too. So any kind of questions like that are great.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do the generator one because I have an overwhelming support in chat. I got 2 people who said yes, and boy, that's overwhelming.
No, it's a good idea, especially because we're all home, right? So power failures, that's actually a very good thing.
Okay, here's one from Rick Herman, which is, what was it? Where were you, Rick?
Case management software.
Case management software, and
here's one from Beaner Dagar. How about some tips on workarounds for really expensive cable subscriptions such as Xfinity and Verizon Fios? That's an interesting topic too.
Okay.
Food for thought.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for attending. We will be back in 2 months, and send us your suggestions. Thank you for those who already supported them. Everyone have a great day.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, everybody. By the way, I just see another suggestion for video editing software. So that's a good one too. I have used some free video editing software I could talk about. People making videos at home. That's actually a good topic too.
Right. Okay. Take care.
Thanks.
So long.